What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 3 of my Total Warhammer 3 modded Kroq-Gar campaign. As we saw last time, Kroq-Gar has been burning the Skaven out of the Kingdom of the Beasts, and destroying Clan Mordkin, and afterwards moving southward to the Jungles of the Gods and his attack on Clan Morbidus. The Sotex Trail territory has fallen, and more importantly, we did get a nice reward for our trouble in the form of the Medallion of Uxmak. Campaign movement range increasing by plus 50%, which is pretty darn good. We definitely want to stack movement range on our armies, and especially on your main army like Kroq-Gar, so it was a pretty nice find, even if it doesn't do anything for Kroq-Gar in the form of getting him additional defensive stats. It's pretty worth it. Plus, we could always just keep this on us, and then if we need to, like if we have a tough fight ahead of us, just switch it out briefly with a defensive, like a Talisman of Protection or something like that. So I like the idea. Now, in terms of what we got to do this turn, we will be proceeding down to the Temple of Avenue of Gold, but we can't move right now. In fact, nobody can, but we can assign some skill points before we go, just in case there is a hidden Skaven army somewhere. Proud Warrior to increase the power of our Saurus, and let's keep buffing up Wind Blast here. And reduce its cost, because it's just so great against the Skaven, and it'll be great against the Tomb Kings as well. Actually, while we're on the Skink Priest, there was a suggestion to rename him, and you will be Teto Echo. I hope I spelled that correctly. I do remember back in the, I want to say second, yeah, well, it would have been the second game, Total Warhammer 2, and when there was speculation about various Lizardmen DLCs that were gonna be upcoming, like I think during Xhotl and possibly Nakai, people were thinking that Teto Echo was a pretty high likelihood of actually appearing, but I guess we never got him. I'm just now wondering whether he was ever added as a hero in anything, because like Lord Kroak, you could add him as a hero as well. But for now, especially since you're a Skink Priest of the Heavens, it makes sense for you to be the greatest as you're following Kroq-Gar around. Now, you, Pradot, let's give you Blade Master as well, and just keep moving towards Deadly Onslaught, though we will still once again stop close to Commence the Massacre to continue buffing up Saurus for Kroqi. Otherwise, there isn't too much to do. Maybe some buildings to build. Golden Pass, yes, let's get that insect breeding farm. And you know what? I think we have to start collecting income. The insect breeding farm will at least slightly counteract the fact that we will not be growing nearly as fast. Yeah. 5 turns, 3 to 5 turns, but then this will probably pop it up to 4. So yeah, I think I can sacrifice a turn for that. For 1100 gold per turn, that does seem pretty darn worth it. And then the same thing with you. Actually, no. -8 is a little bit too much. Let's upgrade your growth buildings first. We'll give you a little bit more time to fix up your provincial instability, and then we'll go for that collect income as well. And the reason I think that we need this right now is because we will be wanting to upgrade the spawn pools here. We will be wanting to upgrade the sacred spawning caverns and get those shielded Saurus available. And also, every single tier 2 building costs 3.5k, which is quite a lot, and that's with the reductions, mind you. So we'll need to be able to have enough money to actually afford it. Otherwise, I believe we're good. We did diplomacy last episode, so we're ready to end the turn and head towards the Temple Avenue here. Lovely. Alright. Let's see if there's a secret. Whoa, okay, I just saw the map change. The Order of Lore Masters have taken the Caverns of Sota. Okay, that ain't great. I do wonder, well, they... Okay, we're about to find out. I'm wondering whether they can reach the Temple Avenue of Gold before we can. If we attack Teclis, now would be the time. Especially as he's most likely going to go for the Temple Avenue as well, but we want it for ourselves. If he only gets the Temple of Sotek...
The vortex has wrought devastation across the magics of the world, mighty lord. The lost wisdom of the old ones must be sought, if it is ever to be restored.
Alright, swell. We got the quest for the Revered Spear of Tlanxla, which gives us control +2 for all provinces and some very nice buffs for Kroqi. Quite a lot of them, in fact. Lovely, and the magical attacks as well. We'll give this a read right before fighting in the actual quest battle, as I tend to do that, and 3 shades. Plus reinforcements, okay. Let's actually, wait, take a look at it here. Alright, looks like the balance of power is even. Huh, but this might also be displaying the non-modded version of this quest, I'm not sure. We'll probably want to get a few Saurus at least before we go into this battle, because who knows, maybe it's the 3 shades that come into reinforcement to this. If that is the case, we can certainly win this, because Bleak Swords and Dread Spears aren't really all that threatening. The Hydra can be taken care of by our Blessed Croxies combined with our Lord and Heroes. I guess the Reaper Boltors could be an issue as well, though. But yeah, let's get a little bit of an upgrade. In fact, what we could do, and we should do, and we will do, is we're gonna build Chameleon Skinks and Stalkers to replace the Skink cohorts, which will allow them to move around enemy armies like the one that we're seeing with the Dark Elves there, and get to the enemy Reaper Bolt Throwers from where the enemy can't see them in stock. I guess technically the... oh, hello. We can't reach him. Yeah, the AI loves to do that, doesn't it? Alright, well, you don't need to be in Battle March then, because we will want the extra money, and we won't be attacking. What's the likelihood this guy attacks us in the field? Pretty low. A bunch of Skaven slaves? I really doubt it. Yeah, technically the Blessed Saurus Warriors can do the stalking thing as well, but... they're a little bit too slow, and this is why I think the Chameleon Skinks and Stalkers will be better. Plus, I really love both units, so... for now, they can be in Kroki's army, and they're going to be relatively cheap upkeep because we got so many reductions. Kroq-Gar's own upgrade, own reduction, plus all of these ones, making for some darn cheap skinks. Alrighty. Anyway, I believe that's it for the moves. Let's double check the buildings. Nope. And let's double check the diplomacy, and I guess we end the turn again. Alrighty. What do we have here? Talakwa. We've sighted you. War with Clan Morbidus and treaties with Lorder of Lore Masters you like. Ooh, so if we were to attack Teclis, they wouldn't appreciate it. We are trading with Teclis as well, so this will screw up our reliability. Alright, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll cross that bridge and burn the elves upon it when we get to it. He may not be actually able to reach a Temple Avenue. Yeah, there's no way. No, because he's stuck here after taking the caverns. So he can move, like, here, probably. There's no way that he can move faster than us with our 50% extra campaign movement range. There's absolutely no way. I'm trying to convince myself here, clearly. Alright. Well, let's end the turn and let's find out for sure, then. Oh, wow, he did get close. Closer than I'd like, but he's not sieging it, which means we should have it. Alright, well, that decides that then there's no need to attack Teclis. Yeah, he's holding one of our territories here, but it's not a big deal. We can always pay him for it later, or possibly trade him something for it. Shouldn't be that concerning. Alright, looks like this is not their main army. The other guy's name was Metastone. So he's probably sitting in the Temple Avenue of Gold. Camry performed a great incantation of Xar, and there's that sequence of Skink Invigoration. A recruiting shortage? Well, isn't that rude? We're not recruiting right now, but it's still rude. There's a distinct lack of able and willing bodies to join your forces for the ongoing wars. There's only one ongoing war right now. Your press gangers, recruiters, or straight-up kidnappers are struggling to find volunteers. Alright, so this clearly isn't a Lizardmen-themed version. You don't need kidnappers to get Lizardmen to fight. That's for sure. The order is more than sufficient, especially where Saurus is concerned. Skinks might have a thing or two to say about it, but they're not going to go against the great plan. Anyway, Kroki, you got something to face here. A very decent amount of wolf rats, plus the garrison as well, which has some night runners and gutter runners, and a plague claw catapult, so not bad on the walls. Now, the fact that Teclis is nearby, maybe we can make use of him. Let's do this. Let's build some siege towers, and let's sit here for a turn. You can be an astromancy stance, there you go, to get that little bit of extra income. You, Mr. Chameleon, can move in astromancy stance as well, by the looks of it. Not like this guy can take Sotex Trail by himself with his single unit of Night Runners. And here's what I'm hoping. Maybe Teclis will move up and help us siege this, and then we can make use of his troops to not take casualties to ours. Wouldn't that be just lovely? Also, we got text to do, so let's switch to the Tablet of Order now, as we do want to get to that growth and that control as fast as possible. And the Lizardmen are really quite good with getting research out of control, so we will be wanting to build lots of control buildings and get as many control buffs as we can. Though combining the Spear of Tlaxla and that upgrade, or that tech, will give us a +4 already. But yeah, it's starting to look like we'll be building Old One monuments in every single main territory. Plus, they do upgrade our income in that territory as well, so it'll be worth it. In fact, just out of curiosity, are you local region, or are you all regions and province? Oh, that's nice. So it'll affect the Golden Tower of the Gods. It also gives a Feral Basti as a garrison. It's not so bad. It might actually be the next thing that we want to build at Teotihuacan as soon as we're tier 3. And obviously we want to get the geomantic pylons and get as much of the geomantic web up and running as possible. I also just realized that that has campaign movement range. Okay, so we don't need the commandments with campaign movement range if we have the geomantic loci everywhere, which is nice. Also, I just want to see the SFO version of the Star Chamber. Is it worth building? Construction time for all buildings, don't really care about. The extra research is fine. Control 2 in adjacent provinces. Still probably wouldn't build it over too many things, but we'll obviously want to unlock at least a few Slan, as it will be probably quite the while until we can get Mazda Mundi on the field. Or Confederated. And then promptly on the field. Anyway, the rest of this is good. Let us end the turn, and then let's attack with some siege towers, and hopefully with Teclis in tow. If we do have that happening, I can title the episode Teclis in tow. There we go. Now I don't have to think about that. oh, he did move in. Is that close enough, however? Well, if Chameleon's close enough, maybe. Kinda hard to tell. Why would he then move up so close? Is he thinking maybe we'll sack it or raise it and then he can take it himself? Alrighty, looks like these guys move away. Alright, come on, Teclis, please be close enough. The great plan calls for using elves as meat shields. No, he's not close enough. There's no arrow. Well, that's a shame. Not that we need him, mind you, because we have siege towers now, so that should make the battle a lot easier. And in fact, while there's probably at least a little bit of admin to do, -6, eh? Might be worth it. We need to collect the income for very soon. In fact, you're going to be upgradable very soon as well. Alrighty, let's upgrade this before I forget. And... ooh. This gives us recruitment cost reduction for skinks specifically. And looky, we're going to be building skinks out of here. Alright, fine. We'll build this. Although, I do wonder, will that save more money than gaining 200 gold per turn via the skink barrios? It's a 20% cost reduction, so it's about 200 to 300 gold saved per skink recruited. And then, though, we get medicinal plants for the trade. You know what, screw it, let's just build it. We'll build the skink barrios here anyway at some point, as this place should probably be pretty safe from attack as long as it doesn't get hit by the dwarves. And actually, speaking of the dwarves, they still don't want to be friends. Okay, well that's rude. We can't be friends with the Bowmen of Orion until we're friends with the dwarfs, because they won't like it. In fact, nobody really wants anything. We could join Tic Tac's war against Zlatland. Let's see how much they'd give us for it. 0. Oh, well, that's with the trade agreement. 3.3. It's not horrible. And it would increase our relationship. You know what, let's give it another turn. They're both quite strong. Although if Tic Tac starts destroying Zlatland, then we should definitely join the war. Unfortunate as it may be for said Zlatland. Anyway, you're going to go into encamp to buff yourself up slightly. You are going to go into battle march for now, and you're going to strike. Alrighty, here we go, Cinematic Battle League. First time we will see the Lizardmen towers in action, so pretty excited about that. And here we go. Alrighty, here we go. Finally a siege with siege towers. And you gotta love the Lizardmen siege towers. They're pretty nice. Like little moving, floating temples. Lizardmen do like their floating temples and all. It would be nice if this little Stargate on top here would generate like solar energy or something and just fire forward as it moved. Kind of like a solar engine does. Could put a crystal in the middle of that. Wouldn't that just be lovely? But oh well, not a big deal. I really do think CA still, and I mentioned this in another campaign, or 5, CA should really get some differentiation in the form of the siege weapons, or the siege towers and equipment rather, that they give to various different factions. As somebody pointed out in another campaign, I think that a great time for that rework would be with the Chaos Dwarfs in particular. But anyway, we're moving forward. The towers are starting to take damage, but at 70%, it looks like they should be able to reach the enemy in time. We do also have a reinforcing lord who is going to come in and help out, and a decent pile of units that are going to move in. But that said, the enemy is quite concentrated around this particular position. They have a tier 4 explosive tower there as well, and I think that that is still going to be very dangerous. It's an SFO siege after all, so you shouldn't take it lightly. Alrighty, now, I'm just going to keep it sped up for a few more seconds until we get on top of the wall. And there we go. If the enemy had casters, a warp lightning right there would have been just incredible. Basically delete the unit before it can do anything. But we do have more units where that came from. Saurus and more skinks moving onto the field, specifically the red-crested skinks are moving in with the Saurus to start fighting over the walls. Looks like the enemy is going to counter that with a single warlord, but that's just fine. Let them do so because we are already into the settlement. The gate has been broken down by our ram and our ancient Kroq-Gar. Wait, no, our sacred Kroq-Gar, blessed Kroq-Gars. Every time are gonna wade into the fight to help out our single stag. Now we're gonna pop a use of our breath attack here, or wind attack rather. And just, let's see, these are clan rats and Skaven slaves. I think this is an overcast as well, and that's looking like it's gonna do a decent amount of damage. A decent amount of the enemy units actually exploded instead of just taking only damage. And about having 3 units. Well, maybe having 2 units and 1/3 on one of them, but still pretty darn good for a single cast. That is 23.5k damage with a single spell. I'll certainly take that. Could have probably waited another couple of seconds for that other unit of clan rats that is moving in to move in, but oh well. Unfortunately, the Kroq-Gars are having a little bit of a difficult time moving forward because of the isolated units that are back here. But oh well. At least the stag is in, and we're going to support it with another cast of Ernon's Thunderbolt right into the middle of that blob. Now that actually looks pretty nice. There we go. Non-overcast because we don't have the points available for that, but still looking pretty good. Actually, just want to compare again here. And 163, oh, fairly considerable amount of kills there. The damage is low, but the kills are high, probably because it's a relatively concentrated attack. Makes sense to me. Now, we do still have a pretty big concern here. The enemy does have those Plague Claw catapults with a pretty good firing line or lane. And down here, they can fire on top of the walls, which they are apparently doing right now. So that's a danger to all of our Saurus and Skinks, and they can fire on any units that break through the gate. Balance of power is about even, in fact, very slightly in the enemy's favor still, so we do have our work cut out for us. At the very least, the wall will soon be ours. I don't imagine these Night Runners are going to be able to hold, those are clan rats, are going to be able to hold all that long here. Especially against Saurus. And while they're doing that, we've moved one of our units of red-crested skinks up to this side. We're going to follow along with another unit of the Blessed Saurus warriors as well, the ones with the Blessing of Huan Chi, as well as another unit of Skink cohort. The idea is send a decent amount of units here and then march them all to this minor supply location in order to destroy this tier 4 tower. And this time I didn't try the running around the enemy settlements to get in there because it just takes too long to break the gates down, and it's not worth it to screw over your vigor on so many units by climbing. Alright, another Urnon's Thunderbolt coming down, and it looks like at last our Blessed Kroq-Gars are in the middle of the fight and being led by Pradat here, who has regeneration just like the little force that he's leading. Which I like, makes sense. If we get the second unit of Blessed Proxies here and also give them regeneration, we'll have a nice little cohort of regenerative units led by Pradat. And there we go, and these guys should be able to take the enemy out fairly decently by themselves, so we are going to try to move elsewhere. The skink cohort, ones without javelins, are moving in to fight some clan rats while we're exchanging some fire with the javelins and are getting more units of skinks up on the walls as best we can so that they can hopefully start firing down into the enemy blobs. Kroq is still in the middle of the fight here together with his pet Steg that he started with, and they are quite surrounded. And they are starting to take damage, so we will have to be careful there and maybe reinforce them. Unfortunately, one of our units of Red Crests is out. They are fairly fragile after all and are meant to hit the enemy in the back, not directly fight from the front, but that's okay. And they've done their job, and as long as the unit isn't destroyed, I'm perfectly happy with that. Another Urnon's Thunderbolt coming down to help Kroq-Gar as well as the Steg out as well. Yeah, we're still being blocked here. The goal was to get Kroq-Gar and the Steg to try to move forward to take out these Plague Claws, or at the very least stop them from firing. And while we've established a pretty darn good beachhead up here, it's still very tough to get through all the enemy units. The enemy have sheer numbers on their side, which is scavenly appropriate. Gotta be careful about that Plague Claw catapult doing too much damage to these guys, though. There is still that Warlord up here, and he's knocking units off the walls as they try to move in. Damn that Warlord, they're getting a lot of value out of him. I'm just curious, how much kills has he gotten so far? Does the game count kills that a unit gets by knocking units off? Only 9, I think it doesn't. Because I just saw him knock like 5 units off the wall, and I doubt that he's not killed any others. But oh well, at the very least our Javelineers are now firing from up on high, so we have a pretty good vantage for him, and in fact we're going to get our Skink Priest Teto Echo up here as well. He'll continue casting and can watch everything from on high. Teto Echo is supposed to have a palanquin like the Slan do. So at the very least up here he can watch stuff. Like as if he was floating on a palanquin. Alrighty, how are we doing over here? There we go. Our units have finally started to move down. We're very much invading the city from various directions now, and the clan rats and the Skaven slaves, or those were actually wolf rats, did not hold, and we should be able to knock that tower out fairly shortly. The battle will still, however, be decided over here, where the main enemy forces. There we go. Finally, our Javelineers doing some good work by chucking them javelins into the sides of the enemy. And it looks like Scurry Away is activated, and these clan rats should be out of here shortly. And there we go, they're out, and we're moving forward once again. Now the Javelineer is going to try to help out the next forward unit, which is Kroq-Gar, fighting still in the middle of a horde of enemy rats and wolf rats. The Steg has moved a little bit up front, but got blocked once again by the enemy as it tried to reach our catapults, or their catapults rather, our target rather. The Steg, however, is also quite badly beat up at this point. Gotta be careful, because we definitely don't want to lose it, as we don't yet have access to getting another one. Krocky's probably pretty badly damaged as well. In fact, he popped the Crown of Command on himself so that he didn't rout, and is down to about a quarter of his HP or so. I just want to point out that Pradat here has been in the middle of the fight this entire time, and is basically completely unharmed. Granted, he's a slightly smaller target because of his lack of a Cold One mount, but nonetheless, he has been right in the middle of everything. That regeneration from Perfect Spawn really working for him. If we can, we definitely gotta somehow get regen on Kroq. Alright, good job to our Kroxies. They're being helped out by a little cohort of Saurus as well as we continue making our way up that hill, and the Warlord has finally routed on top of those walls, which means the other unit of Saurus Spears no longer distracted up here and can move down to help. The other Javelineers will continue javelining, and it looks like we finally managed to capture this location, which means no more enemy Doom Rocket Tower firing upon us. Otherwise, we just now need to break through all this. Our Cold One Spear Riders are in, and we have to break through the enemy lines to get through those damn catapults, which have been doing damage this entire time. Good job to the AI. This was a pretty damn good position for them to put the catapults in. They're difficult to reach, there's a choke point protecting them, and they can just send more and more units down there to block the catapults while they continue to dish it out. Alright, Cold One Spear Riders tried to move in, but once again got blocked. It's okay though, we got more where that came from. The Steg is back, and Kroq-Gar is moving in as well. At least Kroq is always easy to pick out of the other Saurus and Cold Ones, because he has the glowing hand of the gods. And we're nearly there. One last unit, actually two last units here blocking us off. More clan rats. But our Steg can charge through and finally gets to those damn artillery pieces. At the very least, he stopped them firing, which certainly worked. Though the enemy is probably going to be blocking this area off for a while. Looks like Pradat's little portion of the army that he has been leading as Kroq-Gar's lieutenant has managed to crush the clan rats that are holding the ramp and is now able to move forward towards those Skaven slave slingers and stop them firing. Over on this side, we also still have our Skink Cohort and our Blessed Warriors with shields, or Blessed Saurus with shields, holding on to this point. We don't really need to hold on to it at this point, but we might as well. If enemy units come to try to reclaim it, it's a pretty good opportunity for us to make use of the Blessed Saurus, as they do quite a lot of damage and can take out any unit one-on-one. At least any unit that the Skaven can bring to bear at the current time. We've also moved additional units in, the Javelineers behind the Red Crests, who are trying to take on the enemy Lord. They're all chucking their javelins at said Lord with the hopes of dishing out some damage. We do have more reinforcements coming in over here as well from both sides by the looks of it, so we should be able to corral and then kill the enemy Lord with Pradat. And we also have Chameleon, who has finally moved in. He's been taking a long time to get here as a reinforcing Lord, but he has no mount, and thus at standard infantry speed and with like 5 minutes to reinforce. It's hardly surprising. Alright, and it looks like those Plague Claws managed to back off, and the enemy continues sending units up our way. Here's another wind. There we go. More damage on our Skink Priest. And damn, the enemy is doing such a great job holding here. Hopefully we can prevent that Plague Claw from fire again. And let's see what's back here. Looks like our Red Crests, our second unit of Red Crest is almost done. We're going to move the Javelineers in just to block the enemy. They only need to hold them long enough for our Blessed Croxies and Pradat to get there, and that should be happening in only a few seconds. And then the Lord will get surrounded and killed, and then of course the Clan Rats will get hit in the back by this. There we go. Well done to the Skinks for holding the ground just long enough. I wish our units hadn't been moving in a column like this, but looks like they can charge fairly deep into the enemy formation as well. There we go. Now the Clan Rats have no chance here. And immediately upon getting charged in the back, their Scurry Away activates as well, so they probably won't be helping their Lord out for very long either. And how long has this siege been going on? About 12 minutes. Very nice. And I like the fact that we're fighting in multiple locations in the city as well. It's going pretty good, though alas, all good things have to come to an end, and the enemy will be defeated very shortly. They've got about 10-15% maybe bounce power remaining, a few more spells, and a few more kills, and I'm sure the battle will be ours. Gotta love those Urnon's Thunderbolts. Alrighty, and oh, hello, if it isn't this damn catapult firing again. Oh, firing on one of our units of Skink Cohorts that's in the middle of a I don't know, isolated part of the city, but that's fine. It looks like it didn't get too many hits there. It's a Pyrrhic victory, but the battle finally ends as the last of the remaining units do rout. It is a double-edged sword to use this firing lane for the enemy army. They did a good job, definitely, but the problem is any units that rout here rout off the edge of the map, which is right here, rather than running deeper into the city and coming back. So that actually helped us out in as much as, well, pretty much as much as it hurt us by virtue of allowing the Plague Claw catapults to fire. Though I do imagine the Plague Claw catapults did by far the most damage for the enemy army altogether, so maybe not. Maybe it was still worth it even if the enemy clan rats and Skaven slaves did rout. Anyway, there we go. Let's see the damage on us. I don't believe any of our units have been destroyed, but it was a nice siege and worth it either way. Ooh, alrighty. Once again, you just gotta love SFO sieges and the amount of effort that it takes. Also, once again, gotta give credit to the AI for committing so many of its forces to protect that Plague Claw catapult unit. Nearly 30k damage on it and 131 kills, being close to the amount of kills that the rest of the army got, with the exception of this one unit of wolf rats. But yeah, very good. Very good. And in terms of damage, that wolf rat unit did quite well as well, so good job to that one wolf rat. Otherwise, for our own army, we lost about a quarter of our troops, but considering that we will be moving northward to heal, we should be able to heal up quite nicely without too much trouble. As long as we didn't lose any units, and we did not, we were just fine, though I would have been happy if we had lost the, well, maybe not happy, but would have been fine if we had lost the units of the regular skink cohorts without the javelins, mostly because we're going to replace them anyway, and I don't think we'll be popping them into any army, and they're just too inferior of a unit, I think. There's no need to take them over the javelin units, and even in our supporting army that's going to be following Kroq around and leeching XP. Oh, where are you going? Oh, I don't like how you're facing this direct. Okay, you know what? I am very nervous about how he's facing us. We're going to get the next perfect spawn up on the field. There we go. Yeah, I was about to say. Let's just be careful there. We could also summon the Blessed Croxies, but considering the cost, I wonder what's in this army. Would they be able to take this? Well, they would have the towers to contend with, plus the perfect spawn, and also you... Oh, you have to start in Battle March? You could go into this stance, but then that'll enable them to potentially attack you. No, actually they can't move. You can come in as a reinforcement. Alright, let's just do that. Actually, what's the difference? Oh, there's like no difference in upkeep. Oddly enough. I guess it's for only a single unit, so yeah. It's army upkeep and it doesn't affect you? Or didn't change? Well, not important. What is important is what we do here. So, Kroq, you've leveled up. We are going to max out the Temple Avenue of Gold as fast as possible. Don't collect the income for a few turns, but we'll be building the gold mine and stuff here. We do have that cold, or old one monument, rather. So together, if we take out the provincial instability at -5 and the military presence, we'll be at -5 per turn, though we'll be almost even as soon as the Skaven corruption is gone, and it is dropping by the looks of it pretty darn quick. So I think we don't collect income for a couple turns, let the public order rise, build the gold mine, and at that point we can start collecting. We get... Well, only 100 gold at the base level, kind of equivalent to the skink favelas, other than the fact that it also gives us recruitment cost reduction. But at least at the higher tier, it also increases hero recruit rank and upkeep for Croxies and Temple Guards and Cold Ones. Hero recruit rank +1 for Saurus Scarvets. Yeah, I can't wait for us to be able to just randomly recruit Saurus Scarvets at like level 40. Anyway, with that taken, I believe we're ready to end another turn. Chameleon, I'm still not sure what to do with you. Can you go back to Sotek's Trail now? You know what? Maybe we leave Chameleon here. As in, we have him keep guard of the Temple Avenue of Gold. He will get a full stack eventually, but it would be nice to have a lord guarding at this place and then at this place. All at once. Because who knows, Kairos is probably going to come towards us relatively soon. We can seek him back there. Ah, we actually haven't met the faction. Oh, maybe it's a good thing that we don't have the Caverns of Xhotl right now. What if that had revealed Kairos? I don't want Kairos to be revealed right now. And yeah, alright. Lord non-moved, unassigned skill points. I guess we can spend those, but then we'll end the turn. You are at rank 8, so starting next level, we no longer apply points. So we'll take Proud Warrior, and then we'll save the rest. You, Teto Echo, you are going to... I'd like to get both Earthing and Magical reserves for you. But we are spamming Harmonic Convergence and Urnon's Thunderbolt just constantly. Ooh, but we do get Spell Mastery out of Arcane Conduit, damn. You know what, let's put 2 points into Urnon's Thunderbolt, but we'll hold off on the third and go through this. Also, do you get any army buffs? Spell Resistance for Hero's Army. And Casualty or Punishment rate for various Skinks and the Basti with Ark of Sotek, which we don't really care about, at least not in this main army. And yeah, just lots of skink buffs or upkeep reductions. Alright, well that means we don't need to worry too much about this tree, at least not right now. I'm certain that we benefit from it early on, but later, this army will be too Saurus heavy for that to do anything. And lastly, you, Mr. Pradot. You can have, I guess, thick skin. Your armor is quite low until you get onto your Carnosaur, so I think we'll probably want to be maxing that out anyway. Although 15 armor is also really not that much. 1 point to get for fighting the Skaven, but who knows when we fight Skaven again. They're almost done here. Wait, in fact, they are done here. These are their last remaining armies, and they why aren't they suffering attrition? Odd. They have 0 settlements, so should they not... I guess it starts next turn. Alright, that's fine. We will run into Clan Moors up here eventually. They're at Misty Mountain. But we'll have to go through Khalida to get to that, so once again, it'll take some time. Chameleon, just stay here. Don't go in Battle March, and then Kroq-Gar. You won't heal as much, but you can switch out of Battle March as well. There you go. Wait. Oh, when you're in the settlement, it's equivalent anyway because you get the reduction because of your garrison. That's why the other guy didn't change. There we go. That explains it. Alright, you stay here. Okay. Alright, everything else is good. Let's end the turn. I assume these guys are just going to try to attack Sotek's trail, but by the looks of it, they will achieve nothing there. End turn now. Alright, let's see if the Tomb Kings decide to suddenly attack us. I wouldn't be surprised. But a single... Nope, they did not. Okay. Well, that works out. Maybe they were going to, and then they saw that the perfect spawn had arrived here. Man, I'm loving how many of these perfect spawn we're getting. Would be ideal to just get nothing but perfect spawn. And we also saw in that particular battle just how strong that regeneration is. Pradot maintained full HP throughout the battle, where Kroq-Gar went down to like 10 to 20% HP or something like that. So until he gets his own regeneration somehow, if that's a thing that we can get, that's going to be an issue. You battle march out towards Mr. Kralk here. And where are you going? You're not achieving anything, buddy. Well, and that's his problem. And oh, wow, he's not even going to move. I'll resolve that, please. And we can, ooh, this time we'll get the Exterminate. And just for the extra research, a Rat Spawn Sacrifice and a Pigeon Plucker Pendant, not super useful for us. Though, when we make Tic-Tac-Toe's army, maybe. Just want to double check here. Oh, you already have a Rat Spawn Sacrifice? Are we able to put those on non-lords now? We are able to put those on Skink Priests, however, so yes. And you can have a Great Plan Archivist as well. Alright, does anybody know if the Lizardmen are capable of getting bonus research ancillaries? I'll try to cancel the research and then do that later on, as in when we fight the Tomb Kings, if I manage to remember. Alright, and then you can go into... I don't know, just move into the Temple Avenue. There you go, buddy. And you can stay there for a while. I mean, we could, of course, have Chameleon leave and always just summon another temporary lord here. He could still leech XP from Kroq-Gar. Also, Kroq-Gar, you are not able to go into March Stance, sadly, but you can keep moving towards Sotek's trail. Alrighty, you know what? No, we're gonna have Chameleon follow. He may as well leech the XP. Like so. I'm sure we can just suddenly summon another lord if Kairos comes down. We should be able to see him before he lands, and if we build a defensive structure here, it should fix it. as in the danger of the place. Next up, we got Teotihuacan and the Golden Tower, both ready for an upgrade. Now, we're not really worried about the Golden Tower being taken by anything short of a full stack, and even a full stack, unless it's a good one, will probably have trouble due to the 2 Temple Guard units here. I'm thinking we upgrade Teotihuacan first, so that we can get that monument to the old ones, and get that public order bonus and income bonus as well, and then we'll do Teotihuacan fairly shortly afterwards as well. This will also enable us to upgrade the meat storage hall and get further growth. Although it will mean we skip on the shielded swords for a while. Let's just hope we get to the quest for shielded blessed swords and put those in our army. Alright, the rest of this is looking good to me. Let's double check diplomacy, as I feel like it's been too long now. Zlatlan is looking friendly, but they're still fighting Telaqua.
Wisdom awaits.
Anybody else? Ironbrow, the relationship is still rising, but we're still only at minus 6.2. Just out of curiosity, if we do this, they would be willing to go for a non-aggression pact. Alright, what about... Wait, can you do this? 9.1, yeah. Alright, wait, Tic-Tac, what about you? Oh, we already did that. Alright, Teclis, what about you? Wait, you're already at war. Damn. I was just trying to get a little bit of extra relationship. Oh, well. How much is it worth for us to join your war here again? Still 3.1, eh? What's the likelihood that they move through these territories and then through this to go north towards us? Hopefully not that high. Still kind of tempted to do this. Or we could just leave him alone. The thing is, with Tic-Tac, we do want to confederate him as early as possible, but we also need him to get weaker. So we need to put him into other wars. He won't like it if we get a trade agreement or anything going with these guys. Though who knows if they survive. They do actually have some nice territories here, as I just realized. Huh. You know, we're gonna leave him alone for now. Yeah, just leave him alone. Whatever. I'll let them sort themselves out. Whoever truly follows the great plan will have the blessing of the gods. Let's skip the rest of this. Let's end the turn, and then let's continue marching northward. Gotta prep for Kalita. And, ooh, I guess a good thing about summoning that new perfect spawn up north is we will be able to use him to recruit the new skinks while Kroq-Gar continues his march. So he won't have to stop. Which is exactly as it should be, as it is our main army. And you're going to siege Teotihuacan. Surely you jest. I guess he... I guess he stopped the upgrade of it for a turn, which is irritating, but what was the point of this? You can't win this. There's no way. Goodbye. And I guess we're gonna get the money, because I think you can't get Exterminate, as it wouldn't have an effect on the garrison. I think that's still the case. Anyway, there we go. Clan Morbid is destroyed, and we are ready to continue moving. March stands for Karaki, who can move pretty far. Oh, we can compare directly how much further. Wait. Well, I guess he has an army. I was about to say, Chameleon can move just as far, but yeah, Chameleon doesn't have an army, so of course he moves faster. Kroq-Gar's army is, I take it, slowed down by the fact that we have a bunch of infantry. But still moves pretty fast. Alrighty, looks good. Next up, we got buildings to build again. The Cursed Jungle or the Serpent Coast. I think we go with the Serpent Coast first because of the harbor that it has. Plus, it'll probably be a little bit less defensible. You know what? Let's do Serpent Coast rather than this. We also need to save up a little bit of money in order to actually recruit these units. Wait, well, when they're available next turn, they're going to be quite expensive. Let's try to get money somehow. Maybe for joining a war against somebody, but the question is who? Nobody likes Arcan. We could probably join the war against Arcan, but nobody's fighting him yet, though they will be. Zlatlan non-aggression pact and trade agreement. This'll piss off Tic-Tac, though. So I'm still on the fence about it. Though I do expect Tic-Tac will eventually destroy him. Ooh, we can get the defensive alliance with the Order of Lore Masters, but I think we'll wait on that. I think as soon as we get the defensive alliance with them, we will discover Kairos, because we'll get vision of our allies' territory, and they have vision of Kairos. Let them deal with themselves. Then we'll build another army later on to sail down and deal with Kairos. But if we're going to be fighting the Tomb Kings and Clan Moors up here, we might as well not be fighting on two fronts. Anyway, looks like another end turn to me. Let's skip the rest of this, including the unassigned skill points. Unless you have Root Marcher. You do not. Alright. And the Tablet of Order will be completed, though I guess it's not going to be all that helpful right now. You want the defensive lance? We're going to say no. He's going to ask for it again eventually, anyway. Not a concern, and I wonder... Hopefully Thorak doesn't do what Teclis did and take territories up here belonging to Khalida. The Tomb King should have a very tough time fighting against the heavily armored dwarves because they lack early armor piercing. Granted, so do we. What do we have here? Born Killers. This latest spawning of Saurus warriors appear to be far more belligerent than any you remember in recent times. Ferocity and resolve are called for when combating the foe, but your forces must also consider the Great Plan's higher purpose and not sacrifice themselves unduly. Will you embrace their vicious nature or order retraining for a more balanced army? Attack rather than defend... Okay, so basically a swap out of melee attack and defense. I can't remember whether basic Saurus have higher melee attack or higher melee defense, and it's really unfortunate that you can't minimize these rewards. Will it matter all that much? Granted, we use the Saurus to hold the line, but we also use them to do quite a lot of damage. Yeah, so let's just go attack rather than defend. Generally speaking, I would normally take melee defense. I'm just a little bit worried that our melee attack might be so low in the early game, and that this might screw us over. Yeah, let's go attack rather than defend. Your fearsome warriors lay into the enemy with gusto, even when it leaves them open to attack. Even losses are part of the Great Plan, and further spawnings are always possible. Alright, just out of curiosity. You guys are now at 53 yeah, okay, so that was balanced. So they did have lower attack than defense. Good. Oh, well, actually, the Blessed Saurus did, whereas the regular Saurus, not so much. I guess the regular Saurus are more even. Alright, well, that's fine. Kroq-Gar, away you go, buddy. You still got a long way to travel. And Chameleon, keep following. All these perfect spawn. Next up, buildings. We got Kingdom of the Beasts ready to upgrade the Mystic Fern Grove, although, if we're going to start recruiting for Kroq-Gar, we should start doing so now. We want Chameleon Skinks, for sure. And we want at least a couple units of Chameleon Stalkers. I want to say 2 and 4, something along those lines. Though we want to basically replace this entire blob of Skink cohorts. And you know what, just to save up on money a little bit, let's delete you two, like so. Because we're going to replace you no matter what. And then let's get... let's get 2 and 1. And then we'll build the other 3 with Kanos Kier, and then we'll just have him follow Kroq-Gar and do that. Alrighty, well with that I think we're pretty much out of time, and it's a good place to call it. Next time we will be able to march north and begin the war with the Tomb Kings. We're pretty much prepared, and we do have new units that are going to be on the field shortly. So stay tuned for the war with Khalida. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.